My beloved child, my patience has reached its limit. Time and again I have sheltered you and warned you. Yet you still cling to what is wounding your soul. This is the last opportunity I am giving you if you keep turning away. I will let you walk the path of your own choosing. Do not take this moment lightly, for it is not merely a reminder, it is a bell tolling for your soul to return before the darkness closes in. I am not punishing you. I am only dismantling whatever has been masquerading as love and taking the place of grace in your life. Like a silent wind, I am sweeping away the bonds you no longer even see, so that your heart may be free to step into a new light. Every branch in me that does not bear fruit, my Father takes away, and every branch that bears fruit he prunes, that it may bear more fruit. John 1:5-2. You still think you are surrounded by people who cherish you, but sometimes, hidden behind those smiles, there is a soul that envies you, a gaze that is waiting for you to fall. It is precisely in the spaces that seem peaceful that darkness seeks a way in. It makes relationships heavy, work stagnant, and resources dry up without any clear reason. When you see good doors suddenly close, understand that it is not random coincidence, but a sign that I am pulling back the curtain on what has been concealed. Do not panic, and do not rush to judge. Let my light shine into every hidden corner, for only the truth can free you from the unseen snares of the world. I do not stand by and watch you be wounded. Each time someone reaches toward you with deceitful intent, they are reaching toward me. That is why I begin to undo things gently, yet firmly. The relationships you thought were safe harbors, I allow to fade away. The doors you think have been shut, I am holding until the right time to open them. Do not fear when you are left behind or when you lose something, for you are not truly losing. I am untangling the cords that bind you to burdens that do not belong to your future. When you see people walk away, projects fall apart, or dreams left unfinished, that is not an ending. It is my cleansing of the space around you so that blessings may move freely. When I expose what is deceitful, I also teach you not to react as the world does. Do not answer betrayal with bitterness, nor use resentment to demand justice. Let me be the judge, and you guard your peace. Do not waste your strength on explanations or trying to prove you are right. For those who belong to me do not need arguments to be vindicated. Be still. Tend to your family. Nourish your soul, and keep your gaze fixed on me. Do not let rumors or human opinions steal the serenity I have planted within you. When you choose to forgive and entrust everything to me, in that very moment you are opening the way for what is new and pure to enter. There are times when you complain to me, why does my life keep repeating the same losses and hindrances like a spiral with no way out? But my child, I want you to stop and listen. What I am about to say does not come from reproach, but from a loving call to awaken. Some of the things you consider just happening naturally are in fact subtle schemes weaving an invisible web around your soul. Smiles that seem friendly, promises that sound sweet, may sometimes be the mask of jealousy, resentment, or calculation. It is precisely when you place too much trust in outward kindness that your heart stands wide open for the mist of darkness to seep in. For Satan himself masquerades as an angel of light. 2 Corinthians 1:1-4. And for that reason, I must pull away the veil, even if it leaves you feeling empty and in pain. When I shine my light into the dark regions of your soul, you are often shocked to discover that those who once shared your table, those who once called you friend, have been sources of your wounds. Yet, my child, I do not want you to become bitter. I only want you to see what is true and what is false. My grace cannot operate in an artificial environment where you are surrounded by souls that only seek to drain your peace. Sometimes I allow you to be alone, not to abandon you, but to purify you from noise and flattery, so that you hear only my voice. like the dawn breaking through the night. The solitude you endure today is, in fact, the doorway through which truth is revealed. Do you know why deceit has been allowed to linger around you for so long? Because I respect human freedom. I do not twist anyone's heart, nor do I force anyone to become honest. I patiently wait for you to recognize, to mature, so that you can see falsehood without condemning. For if I removed it too soon, you would never learn to distinguish between light and darkness. But at the appointed time, when I see that you are ready, I will open your eyes. You will realize that what you once considered normal has actually been draining your soul, wearing down your finances, and slowly exhausting your faith. Then you will understand it is not that I am punishing you. I am healing you by bringing hidden things into the light. Therefore, my child, do not be afraid when I begin to clarify things. Do not cling to relationships that are slowly cracking, and do not try to mend what I am trying to unweave. I know your heart is kind, you want to keep the peace and be loved. But there are forms of peace that are bought by compromising with darkness, and kinds of love that do not come from me but are merely chains of emotion. Remember, the light has come into the world, and people love darkness rather than light. John 3:19. So do not struggle to make everyone understand you. It is enough that you allow me to understand you. Truth may sometimes cost you friendships, but it always draws you closer to me. I see how often you ask yourself, why is it that the more I pray, the more chaotic everything becomes? Yet precisely in those moments, I am doing the cleansing. When my grace is at work, everything that is not genuine will be shaken. You will notice relationships growing cold, projects no longer bearing fruit, promises falling into silence. Do not mistake that for failure. That is when I am clearing away the fog of illusion, so that your soul can breathe the clear air of truth. You will find yourself alone, yet not lonely. You will feel an emptiness. Yet in that very space, I am planting new seeds, the seeds of inner freedom. My child, when I uncover what is hidden, you will also have to face yourself. For it is not only others who may be deceitful. At times, you too conceal your fears, your pride, or your impure desires beneath a cloak of righteousness. But I do not despise you for that. I love you enough to point it out. I want you to search your heart and see what is making you weary. What is disturbing your peace? What is making it hard for you to forgive? When you recognize these things, I will gently wipe them away. You do not need to prove your perfection. You only need to be honest before me. That honesty is the beginning of your deliverance. I invite you to let go of the habit of judging others by their words, actions, or appearance. These can be carefully staged, but only the soul reveals the true nature within. Ask me for the gift of discernment, the grace to sense the spirit of the person before you, to know who carries light and who carries darkness. Test the spirits to see whether they are from God. 1 John 4:1. This is not suspicion, it is watchfulness. When the eyes of your spirit are opened, you will not be wounded by surprises, because you have already seen through them with my light. And when my light begins to shine, those who live in falsehood will not be able to endure it. You will see them drift away, or they will reveal themselves by their own actions. Do not grieve when this happens, for you are not losing people. You are being saved from bondage. Those who are genuine will remain, and those who bring only destructive energy will depart. I know this stirs sadness in you, but my child, a vineyard cannot bear fruit when it is overrun with weeds. I am doing what is best for your soul, clearing the weeds, pulling up deep roots so that you may blossom and bear fruit. I do not want you to become suspicious of everyone, but neither do I want you to be naive. Naivety leaves you vulnerable to wounds, while wisdom in the spirit helps you stand firm. When you allow me to lead you, You will know how to love without becoming dependent, how to help without losing yourself. True love always walks hand in hand with clarity. If you learn this, every relationship in your life will be purified. Friendships, work, family, everything will be brought into my order, and you will experience a deep peace that no longer sways with who comes or who goes. My beloved, the world you see is only a small part of reality. Behind what you call coincidence is a spiritual battle that unfolds day after day. There are careless words, cold glances, strange dreams you dismiss as odd, yet all of these can carry signals from the spiritual realm. Do not be afraid, for I am still there in the smallest details. But I want you to awaken, so that you will no longer live as a victim of such schemes. I am teaching you to discern, to grow in spiritual awareness, so that you may walk steadily in your calling. When you learn to see with the eyes of the soul, you will realize that each time I expose what is hidden, you are being lifted to a new level. Only those who dare to face the truth can be entrusted with more. I desire to entrust you with a great mission, but I need you to be steadfast before temptations and deceit. When all the curtains have been drawn back, when you are no longer deceived by appearances, then I will show you the next step, the path of purification, where I myself intervene to clear the way for the blessings that are coming. My child, when I begin to act, everything around you may seem to fall into turmoil. What you once considered stable may suddenly shake. Relationships you thought were unbreakable may crack for no apparent reason. But my child, I am not creating chaos to make you suffer. I am clearing the road ahead. There are things in your life that have long since decayed, but you still hold on to them because you fear change. I must step in, shake, and separate, so that truth may come to light, like the potter who breaks a misshapen vessel in order to reshape it properly. I am remaking your life. Do not be alarmed by what you see on the surface, for behind all these breaks and fractures my hand is at work in love. There are times I allow someone to leave your life not because they are bad, but because their assignment in your journey has been completed. They no longer carry the same frequency of blessing that I am wanting to plant within you. There are also times I close a door that seems full of potential, because behind it lies the snare of compromise and deception. I do not stand at a distance watching you struggle. I intervene in ways that make you stop and reconsider, for I know the plans I have for you. Plans for peace and not for disaster. Jeremiah 29:11. Every time I remove something, it is not a loss, but a preparation for a holier beginning. When I begin to cleanse the environment around you, the first thing I touch is your connections, friends, co-workers, even family. You will notice some people suddenly grow distant. Their words turn cold, and your heart feels empty. Do not try to pull them back, for I am separating what belongs to the light from what is still mingled with the shadows. Do not accuse anyone either, for I do not hate them. I only desire that your soul not be contaminated by distorted energies. When you let go, then I can fully move. I do not take away in order to leave you lacking, but to make room for the people, the relationships, and the opportunities that truly belong to you. You will come to see when one person leaves, another arrives gentle, genuine, and carrying my breath. When I intervene, it often makes you think I am being silent. You pray and I do not seem to answer. You seek me and I appear to hide my face. Yet that is when I am working in the quiet, untying knots, shifting things, rearranging what is far beyond your understanding. Like a farmer plowing the soil, I must cut deep to uproot the weeds and prepare for a new harvest. If I only comforted you, you would never truly grow. If I only left you in peace, the seed of blessing would lie dormant and never break forth. Do not imagine that I abandon you in the dark. In truth, I am kindling the lamp within you, so that you no longer depend on borrowed light from others. My child, when I begin to clear things out, you will feel as if you have been stripped bare. The things you once leaned on, reputation, status, praise, seem to lose their value. Yet it is precisely then that you become free. For I do not want you to live on the approval of people, but on the affirmation that comes from me. When there is nothing left for you to lose, you finally realize that I am everything. Blessed are those who are poor in spirit, for the kingdom of heaven is theirs. Matthew 5:3. In the poverty of the flesh, you will touch the riches of the Spirit. In what the world calls loss, you will taste the overflowing grace that nothing can replace. And then you will begin to see unusual signs. Missed opportunities suddenly return. People you thought had forgotten you unexpectedly seek you out. And pathways you believed were closed swing open. This is not random magic. It is the fruit of my cutting away what is false and releasing what is true. When you are no longer bound by distorted energies, grace is free to flow. And all the blessings that have been blocked for so long begin to pour out. I open new provision, new paths, and even a new calling. All you need is to keep your heart soft and trusting. Faith is the key that unlocks every door I set before you. Do not try to understand everything. Simply trust that I am at work. I know you are tired, that you have been betrayed, that you have often wanted to close your heart. But my child, let me teach you how to love again with a heart that has been purified. The purpose of my intervention is not for you to live in constant suspicion, but to live awake. I want you to learn how to walk in the midst of the world without being stained by it. When you can stand among 1,000 noises and still keep your peace in me, that is when you have truly been set free. I am changing the space around you, but in reality I am changing you. When you are willing to cooperate, everything begins to move according to the order of my kingdom. One door closes, another opens, one person leaves, another appears. Piece by piece, I arrange everything according to the plan I prepared for you from the very beginning. Remember, I do not repair the past just to please you. I recreate the future so that my glory may be revealed in you. Every loss, every tear, every time you choose forgiveness over resentment becomes a brick I use to lay the foundation for the new season. My beloved child, when you realize that everything that collapses is not a failure but an intervention, your fear will fade. For I only dismantle what is not real in order to prepare the way for what is true. I do not merely want you to have peace, I want you to become peace, so that when the world looks at you, they see my image, and when the light within you is bright enough, I will lead you into a deeper stage, learning to keep your heart pure, not allowing bitterness, resentment, or fear to stain your soul. It is then that you will understand what true freedom in me really is. My beloved child, once I have purified the environment around you, the next step I desire is to purify your heart itself. For if the outside has been renewed but the inside remains murky, my grace cannot flow in its fullness. You may lose deceitful people, but if you still hold on to bitterness within, you are not yet truly free. I do not want to see you bury yourself in questions like, why did they do that to me? Or, what did I do wrong, my child? Sometimes no explanation is enough to soothe you. Only my love can truly heal. Let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts. Colossians 3:1-5. This is not just advice. It is the doorway that leads you out of the deep pit of resentment. I know there are wounds you try to forget, but that still throb whenever you remember them. There are things you want to forgive, yet your heart has not yet softened. You say, Lord, I have let it go. But in the quiet of the night, anger still flickers like hidden embers. I do not blame you, for I understand. Forgiveness is not a single act, it is a journey. Each time you choose not to bring it up again, not to retaliate. You take one more step toward freedom. When you allow me to touch your painful places, I will not leave you to endure alone. I will pour oil to soothe you, wipe away your tears, and teach you to look at those who hurt you with eyes of compassion rather than judgment. You must understand that revenge never brings true justice. It only causes you to carry within yourself the same darkness that once wounded you. If you allow that poison to remain, it will spread and destroy the beautiful parts of you that I created. I do not want you to lose your light just to prove that you are right. Do not repay evil with evil or insult with insult. But on the contrary, bless 1 Peter 3:9. When you bless the one who has hurt you, you are not weak, you are overcoming. For only those who have my spirit can do such a thing. I want you to rest in my presence. Stop running. Stop analyzing. Stop trying to make sense of everything. The world will make you believe that you must always be strong and in control. But I say to you, be tender in my hands. Let me carry what you cannot understand. When you are in me, every storm on the outside becomes only a whisper. You will learn that peace does not come from everything being calm, but from knowing you are covered by me, even in the midst of the tempest. Let your heart grow still, for only in stillness can you hear my voice saying, I am here, do not be afraid. While you rest, I want you to return to the 3 foundations I have laid for your life, your family, your inner life, and your relationship with me. Your family does not need your control, they need your prayers. Do not try to change others by your words, let me change them by my grace. Use words that are gentle and edifying, and keep silent when necessary. Silence not out of weakness, but out of wisdom. As for your inner life, tend it like a garden, pull up the weeds of anxiety, water it with my word, and welcome the light through gratitude. And in your relationship with me, do not seek me only when you need help. Be with me as with a friend, as a child, simply to share our presence in love. You will come to see that when your heart is pure, nothing evil can truly touch you. It is not that such things disappear, but that they lose their power. Rumors, misunderstandings, contemptuous glances, all of these pass like the wind, because your soul is anchored in truth. I want you to live like a river, flowing gently yet powerfully, bringing cool water to parched places without being polluted by the mud. When you forgive, you are not only releasing others, you are releasing yourself. And it is precisely then that I can fill you with a peace the world cannot give. My child, do not be afraid if you find yourself becoming different, speaking less, calmer, no longer needing to prove anything to anyone. That is not indifference, it is a sign of spiritual maturity. When I soften your heart, you will no longer live by reaction, but by guidance. You will not be swept into the battles of this world, because you have chosen the better part to remain in the light. Blessed are those who build peace, for they shall be called children of God. Matthew 5:9. I want you to become a bearer of peace, not only in your words, but through your very presence. When you truly enter this stage, you will feel lighter. Every cutting remark, every wound will no longer linger for long. You know that you belong to me, and nothing can steal that worth from you. I am transforming you from someone who once lived in fear into someone who knows how to love unconditionally. And it is then that you begin to understand the true purpose of all the purification you have gone through, so that you may know that love is greater than every wound and grace greater than every sin. In that love, I will show you your true identity, a beloved child, chosen and sent to bear witness to my love in the midst of the world. My child, after I have taught you to keep your heart pure and not allow bitterness to take root, I want you to remember something deeper: who you are in me. For if you do not know your true identity, you will easily lose your way amid the noise of the world. You are not only someone who has been saved, you are someone who has been sent. You are not merely a survivor of trials, you are a witness to my power and my goodness. You are precious in my eyes, honored, loved, and chosen. Isaiah 4:3-4. You are not just one more part of this world. You are my imprint among humankind. I have seen you so many times, questioning yourself. Am I good enough? Am I worthy? Did God really choose me, my child? I did not choose you because you are perfect. I chose you because you are willing. In the world, a person's value is measured by success and recognition. But in me, your worth lies in this: you belong to me. Even when you fail, I still call you by name. Even when you are weak, I still hold you in my arms. You do not need to fight for a place to stand, because your place in my heart was reserved long before you were born. When you stand firm in that identity, no criticism can shake you. No rejection can make you forget who you are. You must know that every trial you have ever gone through has not been wasted. Every time you fell, every tear you shed, every moment you chose forgiveness instead of resentment, all of it is shaping the soul of one who is being sent. I use pain to mold patience. Use loss to forge gratitude. Use loneliness to teach you to recognize where I am in the silence. What you thought was delay is in fact the time I am using to refine you for your mission. Everything God does is beautiful in its time. Teaching 3:1:1. When you look back, you will see that every winding path, every door that closed, has led you closer to your true calling. My child, when you live with the awareness that you are loved and chosen, you will no longer live as a victim of other people's words. You will no longer react out of emotion, but respond with the wisdom of the Spirit. When the world says, "You are not enough," you will smile and remember that I have said, "My grace is sufficient for you," 2 Corinthians 1:2-9. When people turn their backs on you, you need not be angry, because I have never left you. I want you to rise, not to prove yourself, but to shine with the very light I have placed within you. That light does not come from praise or outward glory, but from your faithfulness to me in the small things, in the quiet choices you make each day. When you are sent, do not be afraid if you see yourself as small. I do not need heroes, I need the willing. Let me use you like a hidden stream that quietly waters dry and barren ground. I do not seek noisy places to reveal my glory, I choose humble places to show my power. When you are weak, then you are strong. 2 Corinthians 1:2-10. For true strength does not come from striving, but from allowing me to act through you. When you believe this, you will live lightly, no longer needing to prove yourself, no longer needing to compete. You will only need to be faithful in the work I entrust to you, and the world will recognize me through every small gesture of yours. My child, there will be those who do not understand, and some who mock you, but do not let your heart be shaken. I do not send you to please people, I send you to sow the seeds of my kingdom. Every word you speak in love, every action you do with a pure heart, is a seed falling on good soil. Some seeds will sprout quickly, some will wait for the rainy season, but I see them all. You only need to persevere, for the harvest will come, and the fruit of your life will bring many into true life. My child, when you know who you are in me, you will walk without fear of loss, without fear of being forgotten. For I have not only called you to be comforted, but to become a word of comfort. You are not only healed, but also sent to bring healing. You are not only loved, but sent to love. And precisely as you pour out that love, You will see grace flow back into you more abundantly than ever. For grace never runs dry in the one who knows how to share. Now I want you to remember what I give you does not end there. When you stand firm in your identity, when you know you are chosen, when you are ready to become an instrument, I will open a new season, a season of abundance, where every blessing in its fullness will pour down like rain. But to step into that season, you need one thing: faith. Let your faith be the only answer to every doubt. For it is in faith that blessings are unlocked. My beloved child, once you understand that you are loved and chosen, I want you to know that this does not stop at awareness. It is an invitation to step into a new season, a season I have long prepared, where blessings are no longer hindered, where dreams you thought had died are awakened again. You will no longer live merely to survive, but will begin to live in the abundance of grace. I have come that the sheep may have life, and have it abundantly. John 10:10. This is my promise. Not a metaphor, but a reality for those who dare to believe. But my child, blessing is not just a gift, it is an invitation to cooperate. Grace comes, but you must open your heart to receive it by faith. You will see me restore honor where you were once humiliated, reopen doors you thought were closed forever. Those who doubted you will be amazed when they see me lifting you up in the very places where you were once brought low. Yet I do not do this so that you may take revenge or become proud. I do it so that all may recognize the power of love. Blessing does not come so that you might be praised, but so that you might become living proof that I am a faithful God. And every word I speak is fulfilled in its time. You will begin to notice new currents flowing through your life: ideas, opportunities, connections, encounters that seem random but are arranged by me. This is the moment when grace is being poured out, not because you have tried harder than others, but because you have allowed me to clear the way. When I open a door, no one can shut it. When I shut it, no one can open it. Revelation 3:7. I want you to understand that not every good thing comes from your own making. Many things come simply because you chose to believe and rest in me. Your faith is the key that opens the treasure I have kept in store for you. Yet, my child, when blessings come, be careful that your heart remains simple. Many, once blessed, forget the giver. They become intoxicated with success and forget that I am the source. I do not want you to walk that path. Use the blessings as a faithful steward, not clinging, not boasting, but willing to share. If I grant you abundance, it is so that you may become a wellspring of peace for others. Every time you help someone rise again, I will add more to you. Every time you speak a word of encouragement, I will open another door before you. For grace multiplies in a heart that knows gratitude and generosity. You must also understand that true blessing is not only wealth, work, or honor, it is total restoration, body, mind, and spirit. I desire to heal relationships in your family, to restore trust that has been lost, to lead you out of fear of lack. You will find yourself sleeping more peacefully, smiling more naturally, speaking words of love more easily. That is the sign of the new season. You are no longer straining to live well. Living well becomes natural when I dwell in you. When blessing is fully at work, you will see the impossible become ordinary, because faith has cleared the way for miracles. My child, do not cling to old ways of thinking as you step into the new season. There are habits, fears, and ways of seeing that once helped you survive, but now only hinder you from moving forward. I invite you to let them go. Put aside the voices saying, I can't, I'm not worthy. It will all fall apart again. Replace them with my words, with God. All things are possible. Matthew 1:9-6. When you repeat my word, you are recreating a new reality. by your very faith. For what you speak in faith, heaven moves to accomplish. I have placed creative power in your mouth. Use it to build, not to fear. You will be amazed to see that grace does not only touch you, but flows out to those around you. Your family will change. The atmosphere in your home will become lighter and more peaceful. Those who were distant will slowly return. Long-standing knots will naturally begin to loosen. For when my light shines in one person, it spreads through the whole house. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Joshua 2:4-1-5. This will no longer be a distant promise, but the reality you are living. For where you are, there I am, and where I am, blessing cannot be absent. My child, this season will be a season of open doors, restored relationships, and old things renewed in a new form. But I want you to step into it not with brief excitement, but with deep and quiet faith. Walk each step in stillness and gratitude. Whenever you feel afraid, remind yourself, He who began a good work in you will bring it to completion. Philippians 1:6. Believe this, for I never begin anything I do not intend to finish. My child, your journey is not over. The season of blessing is not a destination, but a stage where I walk with you on higher ground. Each day, you will learn a little more about my unfathomable kindness. And when you look back, you will see every loss that once made you weep, every wound that once brought you to your knees, has become the soil from which today's fruit has grown. Now, you are not only blessed, but you yourself have become a blessing to others. I will cause the light within you to shine far and wide, so that whoever looks at you will know that I am the Lord, the one who loosens, cleanses, renews, and pours out abundance on all who belong to me. My child, do not let your heart be troubled when the wind changes direction. Everything that is shifting right now is not random chaos, but a new order I am quietly putting into place. Precise, down to every breath. I know you have grown weary of waiting, have bowed your head in the long night without seeing the first light of dawn. Yet now, in the very moment when you feel you have no strength left, I am setting in motion things beyond your understanding. I do not work according to human timing. I work in the fullness of time. My child, remain at peace, for this trial will not end in failure. It is a turning point, the threshold to what I have promised. Every hidden prayer, every tear you tried to conceal has not been forgotten. They have become seeds, and today is the season in which I cause them to bloom. I am opening new pathways where before you saw only walls, opportunities that once collapsed, covenants that were broken halfway are now being mended by my own hand. Those who once avoided you will come seeking you. Promises that were postponed will be fulfilled without you having to strive or contend. I am not merely restoring, I am making all things new. The old has passed, the new has begun. I have locked the doors that no longer belong to you, and now I am opening doors that no one can shut. Remember, when I am at work, no one can hinder me. When I give a command, all things must obey. The long delays you have endured were not my silence, but my waiting for the right moment when you would be mature enough to receive without losing what I give. Now every delay will vanish like morning mist under the sun. You may see strange changes in the people around you, those who were once close, becoming distant, those who once spoke sweet words, suddenly falling silent, eyes that once admired you now turning away without a word. Do not tremble, and do not keep asking what you have done wrong. It is I who am removing from your life those who are no longer meant to stay. I am clearing the space around you so that you can breathe more freely. Many people remained longer than they should have simply because you were afraid of being alone, and that fear has exhausted your soul. But now I say to you, let them go. When they walk away, it is not because you lack worth, but because you are being led into a new land to which they are not permitted to enter. Their leaving is a sign that I am purifying, freeing, and reshaping everything to fit my plan. You once thought that I did not hear the scornful words they spoke about you, the malicious rumors, the suspicious glances. You bowed your head and endured, believing yourself to be alone. But I have seen it all, and I never stand idle. They said, "That one will surely collapse. That one will give up. There is nothing left for them to go on with." Yet while they laughed over your pain, I was quietly continuing to write your story. I waited for the day they would realize that the seed they buried, thinking it dead, is the very seed I myself had planted, and I am bringing it back to life stronger than ever. My child, I do not need to prove to the world that you were right. I myself will be your proof. They will see you standing firm, not because of your own strength, but because I have lifted you up every time you fell. Remember, grace is never late. It arrives precisely when you think there is nothing left to hope for. Everything is moving, even when your eyes cannot yet see it. I am unlocking doors that have rusted from long waiting, awakening opportunities that seemed dead. You will see people who once turned their backs now longing to work with you. Relationships that were fractured being healed. Ideas once rejected now being welcomed. It is not because you have changed your way of speaking, but because I have changed the atmosphere around you. When I come in, all that is old and worn must give way to the new. And right in the midst of this change, I will set you in the place where you belong. I know you are still afraid. You fear that this goodness will dissolve again like a dream. But, my child, I am not a human being who changes heart and mind. When I say, step out, it means I have already prepared solid ground for your feet. When I say, believe, it means I have already seen the destination. You need only walk. I will take care of the road. Do not lean on your own understanding, for you cannot grasp all that I am weaving together. Every fragment of your life is being fitted into place by my hand, your tears, your failures, your seemingly hopeless waiting. Each has its own place in the great tapestry that only I can see in full. When that picture is complete, you will understand why everything once had to be so hard. My child, do not grieve over what has gone. Whatever I take from you, I will repay with something far better. I never take away in order to leave you lacking. I clear space to pour out new blessings. There are people whose leaving felt like losing a piece of your heart. Yet you will see that without them, you are only now beginning to truly live. I once allowed you to lean on others so that you could learn to trust. But now I want you to lean on me so that you may learn to stand firm. When you stop clinging, you will discover my hand holding you tighter than ever before, and in that grasp, you will find a peace that the world can never give. Do not be surprised when you begin to see things happening more quickly. I am accelerating the pace. Where there was once a dead end, a way will open. Where there were refusals, invitations will appear. Where you were once looked down on, you will be honored, not because you fought to prove yourself, but because I have placed my favor upon you. And when my favor rests on you, no one can deny it. I will cause those who once mocked you to say, only God could have done this. You will no longer need to defend your reputation, for I myself am your defender. Be still and know that I am your God and that I am fighting for you. Do not rush around searching for proof of what I am doing. Let everything unfold in its own time. When grace comes, it flows like a river, gentle, yet unstoppable. It slips into every corner, reviving what has dried up, watering the ground you thought could never bear fruit. You do not need to make others believe, you only need to guard your own faith. For your faith is an invitation for miracles to happen. If you believe, you will see the glory of God. John 1:140. I spoke those words not only to Martha, but also to you today. And my dear one, I want you to know that none of your past toil has been in vain. Every drop of sweat, every lonely hour, every moment you clung to me in the darkness has become evidence of your faithful love. Now I will cause that love to bear fruit. Everything you lay your hands on, I will strengthen. Everything you begin in faith will be brought to completion in blessing. I will send you sincere companions, unexpected resources, and doors that lead you into the place prepared for you. What was once blocked will now flow freely. What was stolen from you I will restore, even twofold. Do not forget, blessing is not only success or abundance. True blessing is freedom in your soul. The joy of knowing you are being led by me. You will find your heart at peace, even while storms still rage outside. You will be able to smile at the success of others, because you no longer compare yourself with them. You will walk in your calling, knowing that if you remain faithful, I will take care of the rest. And when people ask you what your secret is, you will say, because my God has never abandoned me. That is true glory. My child, not when people praise you, but when they see me in you. Now I want you to stand firm and lift up your head. Do not look back at the past, for it has closed. Do not worry about the future, for it rests in my hands. Live this day to the full, for today is where miracles begin. You are not an abandoned child. You are the one chosen to step into a season of abundance. I have prepared a table for you in the presence of your enemies, not to flaunt victory, but to show that my love is greater than every wound. My child, keep your heart in peace, for everything is unfolding exactly as I have planned. What you once thought was an ending is only an old chapter. I am writing a new one, where grace is not only sufficient, but overflowing in abundance. And because you refuse to give up, I now take your hand, gentle yet resolute, and lead you out of the old darkness of confusion and fear into the place where you are recognized, honored, and set in the position I destined for you from the beginning. I look at you, the child who once trembled under rejection, who bowed under wounds, and I say, my child, now is the time for you to lift your head. Everything that once wore you out and made you question your worth will now become the launching pad for my glory to be revealed. For grace does not come only to comfort you, but to raise you higher than you ever thought you could reach. You have walked through the long night of doubt, but that very night taught you to recognize the light even in its faintest glimmer. I have seen you hold on in faithfulness while others turned away. I have seen you keep on loving even when you were misunderstood. And that perseverance has been the most powerful prayer you have ever offered to me. Listen closely. My beloved child, what once seemed a distant dream is now drawing near. The promises I planted in your heart when you were young are now coming into bloom, and the desires you once thought too great ever to come true are now taking shape in the very fabric of your reality. Every barrier, every wall that once blocked blessing is beginning to shake. For when my time arrives, no power can stand against it. My grace does not come as a gentle breeze, but as a strong wave sweeping over every limit you ever set for yourself. It is not loud, yet it is irresistible. It is not hurried, yet it is certain. Open wide your heart. Do not close it with the fear of failure. For I do nothing halfway. Everything I have promised, I will fulfill. What you thought was coincidence is lining up under my order. The people you meet and the events that unfold are all part of the plan I established long ago. But my child, when blessings begin to come, I need you to keep your heart steadfast. Do not let joy make you lose your way, and do not let old fears rise up and cause you to doubt my hand. You do not need to defend or protect yourself by acting like them, those who insulted you. mocked you, and wanted to see you fall. Do not respond as they do. Do not use the ways of the world to answer evil. I do not lift you up so you can retaliate. I lift you up so you can shine. While they are plotting your downfall, I am laying the foundation for your victory. While they are scheming to have you forgotten, I am preparing for you to be remembered with honor. The difference between you and them is your heart. You have allowed me to dwell there, while they still allow fear and jealousy to rule them. Now, take a deep breath and sense this. This is only the beginning. The years you have waited, the prayers you once thought had fallen into silence, have in fact been gathering into a powerful river, and now is the moment it breaks its banks. I am not slow and I do not forget. I simply choose the time when your soul is mature enough to hold what I am about to place in your hands. For if blessing comes before faith, it turns into a burden. But now you are ready, because you have learned the greatest lesson of all, to trust me even when you do not see. Blessed are those who have not seen and yet believe. John 20:29. That is you, the child who believed me while everything around you was falling apart. I am the Lord God of truth. I do not make empty promises. I do not change my mind, and I do not deceive. When I declare that you will be lifted up, it is not mere comfort, but a proclamation. What I have begun in you, I will bring to completion. Keep allowing my word to soak into every cell of your soul, so that every breath you draw carries the certainty that I am at work. Remember the days when you thought you had nothing but tears, and yet it was in those very tears that I was planting the seeds for the coming season of joy. I have overlooked none of your pain, for I have used it all to shape a soul that is stronger, more humble, and more beautiful than before. The road you walk is not easy, but every trial you have endured has become a stone paving the glorious path that is about to unfold. Each time you chose love instead of hatred, forgiveness instead of revenge, you took another step toward my light, and it is those small steps that have altered the entire trajectory of your life. You are no longer bound by old cycles of failure or trapped in worn paths of fear, because you have changed direction from facing your pain to facing hope. When you changed the way you see, the universe that belongs to me began to move in alignment with you. I have seen your footsteps leaving the ashes, and I immediately commanded my angels to clear the way. My child, in this new season, I do not only want you to receive blessing, I want you to become a blessing. When I raise you up, it is not so that you may boast, but so that you may stand as a witness that love is real and that no one is forgotten in my plan. I want you to tell your story not to show off, but so that souls in despair may be kindled with the hope that they too can be saved. Use your very wounds as evidence of my kindness. When you say to someone, I was there once, and the Lord pulled me out, you are not merely comforting them, you are imparting life. But you must also remember that every blessing requires a heart that knows how to keep it. Slow your pace so that each day you can feel my presence in the smallest things, in a simple meal, in the laughter of loved ones, in the morning light, in your very breath. This is how you guard your blessings, through gratitude. When your heart is full of gratitude, there is no room for fear. When your heart believes, nothing can shake you. Continue to nurture that faith, and do not let the words of people, worries about the future, or shadows of the past pull you away from my gaze. For, my child, when you keep your heart in peace, you will see miracles become as natural as breathing. Every good thing will find its way to you, not because you are more deserving than others, but because you have allowed me to live in you. I do not need you to do extraordinary things. I only ask you to be faithful in the small ones. It is in that very faithfulness that I will enlarge the borders of your life. You will go to places you never imagined, meet people I have appointed, and do things that make you realize that it is I who am living and working through you. Prepare your mind, for my plan for you is not a brief string of blessings but a long journey of growth. The prosperity I give is not only material wealth, but wisdom, kindness, and spiritual strength. You will learn how to steward blessing without being ruled by it. You will know how to stand on the heights without pride, how to keep your heart tender when the world praises you, and how to keep believing when the world shifts and changes. You will become a witness to a balanced life, where blessing and humility coexist. Now I say this to you in the days ahead. Some will ask you for your secret, some will admire you, and others will doubt you. But do not feel compelled to explain yourself, for not everyone can understand the journey of grace. Simply keep walking in the light, and the truth will reveal itself. I will vindicate you by the fruit in your life, by the peace you carry, by the way everything concerning you moves with ease rather than strain. Let your success become a song of praise to me, not a medal pinned to your own chest. And when you look back, my beloved child, you will realize that everything that once caused you pain has been used by me to weave a magnificent tapestry. Not a single thread is meaningless. Not a single tear has fallen in vain. All of it has blended together to become your story, a story that speaks not only of your resilience, but of my faithfulness. Now you walk not only in blessing, but in the deep awareness that you and I are one. You no longer beg like a stranger, but talk with me as a child who knows just how much their father loves them. I hold your hand more firmly and whisper, "Come, my child, before you lie vast fields, and in the distance is the harvest of every tear and every prayer. Go, for this is the time for you to see with your eyes what you have believed with your heart. And as you walk, you will feel the ground beneath your feet tremble, not with fear, but because heaven is rejoicing. This is no longer the beginning of a story, but a new chapter where you, child of light, step into the abundance I have prepared for you since before all ages. My child, I have come to restore what the darkness has stolen and to re-establish what has belonged to you from the very beginning. In the moment I step in, all human limitations dissolve like mist before the morning dawn. No wall can block my light. No curse can continue to operate when my name is proclaimed. I have seen the years you carried an unspoken weight within you, the hollow relationships that drained your peace, the negating words that made you forget your true worth, the dreams buried under layers of fear. But now I, the one who never slumbers, am speaking words of life into your soul. My light is piercing through the layers of darkness, driving out every scheme disguised as outward kindness. When my truth reigns, nothing can remain hidden. When my spirit moves, every invisible chain must be broken. I am not only delivering you from toxic relationships, I am renewing the entire flow of blessing around you. The cords of woundedness that have been passed down through generations, the harmful declarations once spoken over your family line, I am personally untying them. Remember, I have not come to patch things up, but to rebuild from the foundation. When I touch, everything rotten crumbles away, revealing the pure core I placed in you from the start. You once thought certain events were random, a project left unfinished, an opportunity that slipped away, a relationship that grew cold, days when your health faltered for no clear reason. But, my child, nothing in your life has been accidental. The enemy has plotted and scattered thorns along your path. But I, the one who keeps you, have been watching from the beginning and have chosen the exact moment to intervene. Today is that day. I rise up and will no longer allow anyone to lay a deceitful hand on you. I shatter every alliance of darkness that has bound you, and every scheme that has tried to obscure the glory I have placed upon your life. I know you have grown weary from bearing things beyond your strength, You kept your heart in faith even when no one around you understood. You tried to smile through your tears. You continued to pray in loneliness. You chose love, even while being misunderstood. I have seen it all, and not one of your tears has been wasted. Now I am using those very tears to water the seeds of the blessing that is about to spring up. What once collapsed will be rebuilt, more beautiful, more stable, and more pure. I will cause the very things you once feared to become witnesses of my grace. Prepare your heart, for I am opening a way for you, not a narrow alley, but a wide road of freedom and calling. You will walk no longer bent under the weight of the past, but upright in my name. Those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar high like a phoenix. Isaiah 4:031. When my light floods in, those who once hid their intentions will be exposed. You do not need to unmask anyone. You need only keep your heart at peace, and I will do my part. Light does not need to fight with darkness, it only needs to appear. And the darkness vanishes on its own. Let me fight for you. For this battle is not of the flesh, but of the spiritual realm. The negative words once spoken over your life, denials, curses, or careless declarations of others, I am revoking their power. From now on, no word that is contrary to me will be able to bear fruit in your life. The generational bonds that caused you to repeat cycles of failure, debt, and brokenness, I'm cutting off at the root. From this moment, the flow in your bloodline is being sanctified, carrying a new energy, the energy of life, restoration, and victory. You once thought you were walking in the dark, but in truth, I was still going before you, lamp in hand, lighting your path. There were moments when I was silent, not because I had abandoned you, but because I wanted you to learn how to recognize me in the quiet. Now you will see my hand more clearly than ever. Opportunities will begin to return, but in new forms. Genuine people will appear, perhaps not dazzling, but steady. Doors that were once locked will open, not by human effort, but by my power. And you will understand that true blessing does not come from striving and grasping, but from trusting. I am not only bringing you out of something, I am bringing you into something, into a space of deep peace, where you no longer need to be anxious about the future, because you know that I have gone ahead of you to prepare the way. My child, I know your heart has been wounded to the point where you even doubted my love. You asked, if you love me, why did you let me suffer for so long? But, my child, true love does not only embrace, it also purifies. I let you walk through long nights not to punish you, but so that you might grow. For if I were to pour out blessing while you were not yet ready, it would crush you instead of lifting you up. Now, after all the trials, your heart has become softer, your eyes clearer, and your spirit has learned to trust in the silence. I see that you have borne enough, so I am coming not in a gentle breeze this time, but in a strong, radiant light. Everything will change faster than you think, for I am at work. Those who once despised you will have to witness what I do, not for revenge, but so they may see who I am. When I bring you out of the place of confinement, I also set you in a new position. But before I bestow blessing, I need your heart to be steadfast. Do not let fear or old guilt hold you back. Leave behind the accusing voices in your memory, for I have wiped them away. Behold, I make all things new. Revelation 2:1-5. You are no longer who you once were. You no longer carry the label of failure or mistake. I have given you a new name in the realm of the Spirit, and that new name carries the meaning of victory. Walk as one who knows they have been chosen, not bowing to judgment, not afraid of what lies ahead, for I go with you. I will cause your life to be filled with new vitality. Every area that has been dry, your work, your family, your emotions. Your health will come alive again. I will bring order where there was chaos, light where there was obscurity, and laughter where there were tears. You will no longer have to strain and force yourself, for my grace will carry the heaviest part. You need only walk, and I will lift you. You need only believe, and I will act. Dreams that were once dismissed as unrealistic will become reality. Desires you have not dared to speak aloud, I have already heard, and I am bringing them to completion. As you walk into this new season, you will sense that everything moves with ease, as if doors are already open, waiting only for you to step through. It is not because of luck, but because I have gone before you and arranged all things. The right people, the right opportunities, the right circumstances will converge, all so that my blessing may be revealed. Keep your heart tender, for blessing flows only through a grateful heart. Praise me even before you see the outcome, for thanksgiving is the seed of miracles. I want you to live in the rhythm of joy, no longer haunted by fear or doubt. I am leading you into an era of abundance, where you will no longer beg for scraps of peace, but live in a fountain of overflowing blessing. You will give without fear of lack, love without fear of being hurt, because I, myself, am the inexhaustible source within you. Use your blessings not to build walls, but to build bridges, not to prove your worth, but to reveal love. Every act of love, every time you lift someone up, you are opening yet another channel of grace over your own life. My child, remember that I have not forgotten you for even a single moment. Everything that has been stolen from you I will repay double. The dark years I will turn into a season of joyful harvest. I will not only restore what you lost, I will give you what you have never had. I will not only heal you, I will make you completely new. When you lift your eyes, you will see my fingerprints everywhere in your work, in your family, in your innermost being. And then you will understand that nothing that happened was meaningless. It was all part of the great plan I have written uniquely for you. Now I speak to you, arise, shake off the ashes, and clothe yourself with light. For the season of mourning has passed, and the season of rejoicing has come. Let me walk with you and teach you how to live in blessing without losing simplicity of heart. Let me lead you into this new journey, where every breath carries the fragrance of life. And when you tell your story, tell it in faith and not in tears. For I have turned your mourning into a song of praise. You will not only be blessed, you will become a blessing, a living testimony that whoever trusts in the Lord God will never be put to shame. My beloved child, listen deeply within your soul, for what I am about to say is not an empty promise, but the very breath of God moving through your life. Every trace of shame, every year of being looked down on, every failure you thought had defined your identity, I am erasing them. Every layer of dust from the past that you have tried to hide, every fear that made you bow your head, every mocking word that made you want to retreat, these are all dissolving under my breath. I am not only drying your tears, I am clothing you again with the dignity and honor the world has stripped from you. For I do not want you to live as one who merely endures, but as one who is sent to carry my light into dark places. I am covering you with the glorious robe of grace, something that cannot be bought by effort or fame, but can only be received by faith. You will step out of the shadows, not with noise and clamor, but in a radiant stillness, like dawn, gentle, yet impossible to stop. My little child, believe this. What I am about to do is not a fantasy, but a reality born from my own hand. I am moving, and no power on earth or under heaven can stop it. The changes you are about to see will come so quickly that even you will be astonished. You once thought everything had to take a long time. You once believed miracles were only for others, but this time it is I, the one who called you out of the night, who am rising up on your behalf. When I have decreed a thing, no one can hinder it. When I say, it is time, all of heaven and earth must move in accord. You will see walls that once blocked your path crumble like ashes. Doors that were firmly shut swing open without your knocking. You will see what seemed lost forever come back to life. For I am the one who makes what is dead live again, and makes what is hopeless shine with glory. Those who once mocked your faith, those who despised your quiet perseverance, will be silenced. They will see with their own eyes that the prayers you thought were forgotten are now blossoming. I have heard every sob in the night, every faint sigh of your soul when you whispered, Lord, I still believe. You did not know it, but every tear has been kept by me like a pearl in a golden vessel. Now is the moment I am pouring them back over your life as a stream of overflowing grace. My child, stand firm, for when I lift you up, no one can pull you down. When I speak in your defense, every accusation becomes meaningless. When I stretch out my hand to touch your life, no force will have any power to touch you. I know you have longed for good things to come, yet were afraid to believe because you have been disappointed so many times. I know your heart is cautious, because old wounds still bleed. But now I say to you, believe again, not in yourself, not in your circumstances, but in me, the one who never breaks his promises. The delay you have just experienced was not rejection, but preparation. You needed to walk through those long nights to learn to discern what is illusion and what is true. Now I see that you are ready to receive, but also ready to give. For the blessing I bestow is not only for you, but is meant to flow through you to others. You will become a witness to my mercy, not through lofty words, but through a life that has been transformed. My child, I am not giving you a small reward or patchwork remedies. I restore completely. I do not touch only one part of you, but your whole being, your soul, your body, your honor, and even your future. I will make what others called impossible become possible, and what was once despised become honored. In the place where you once fell, I will make you stand firm. In the place where you were brought low, I will raise you up. In the place where you were forgotten, I will cause others to seek you out, not so that you may be proud, but so that you may know I remain the God of the unexpected. Those who mocked your faith will have to admit that you chose rightly. For when I act, no one can deny it. I am reshaping everything around you. Broken relationships will be restored in unexpected ways. Doors that seemed tightly shut will open in places you never imagined. You will see opportunities come to you, encounters marked by the touch of the divine, and new paths laid out where none existed before. Everything will begin to align, as though the whole universe were turning just to set you in the very place I have ordained for you. Do not be afraid when you see things unfold more quickly than you planned. This is the speed of grace. When I move, even time must bow. So shall my word be that goes out from my mouth. It shall not return to me empty, but it shall accomplish what I purpose and succeed in the thing for which I sent it. Isaiah 5:1. That word is now being fulfilled in your life. But my child, when I bless you, keep your heart humble. Remember that every good thing springs from my love, not from your merit. Do not see blessing as a reward, see it as a trust. I give much because you have been faithful with little. I give you abundance, not for your private enjoyment, but so that you may become a channel of living water for the thirsty. Know that the more you are given, the more you are invited to live in love and self-giving. True riches are not found in your pockets, but in a heart that knows how to share. If you allow blessing to flow through you, I will ensure that this flow never runs dry. My child, I am also healing your memories, the humiliating words, the contemptuous glances, the moments when you felt abandoned. I am entering every hidden corner, cleansing them and replacing them with peace. No one can change the past, but I can turn the past into soil for the future. You will find that you no longer tremble when you remember, for where there was once pain, there will now be overflowing gratitude. I am turning sorrow. I want you to know that everything which once stood against you is slowly turning to serve you. The very ones who once rejected you will become those who make a way for you. And the places where doors were shut in your face will become the places where you are honored. What seemed like setbacks will reveal themselves as launching pads. I am gathering every broken piece and fitting it into a tapestry of blessing, where even the darkest shades have meaning. Do not strain to understand with your mind. Simply hold on to faith. For faith is the hand that receives what the eye has not yet seen. You will come to see that what once brought you pain is exactly what I used to make you strong. And those who once caused your tears will stand as witnesses to my work of restoration in your life. Therefore, my precious child, do not be shaken when I lift you up. Your light will draw attention, but let it shine for me, not for yourself. I will give you the wisdom you need to steward every new thing I place in your hands. Use your voice to bring hope. Use your past wounds to soothe the hurting. Live as one who has tasted the kindness of God, and let every action become a song of thanksgiving. When you live this way, grace will multiply of itself, for I cannot stop pouring out upon a soul that knows how to give thanks. And now, my child, I say this to you, you are stepping over the threshold into a new life. Everything has been arranged. Everything that needed to be untangled has been completed. This is the time when you no longer have to beg. You only need to receive. Do not look back, for I am no longer in your past. Look ahead, where I am opening before you your promised land, a land of joy, of fullness, and of calling. Trust me completely, for I hold the steering wheel of your destiny in my hand. When I hold it, no one can snatch it away. When I raise you up, no one can pull you down. Everything is now moving, not by your strength, but according to my will. So then, walk in peace. Do not concern yourself with who believes or does not believe, who understands or does not understand. For the blessing you carry does not need to be proven. It will reveal itself. What you have gone through is proof that I am real. Remember, it was not luck that brought you here, but grace, and that grace will continue to stretch outward from you, to your family, to every person you encounter. Each day, you will see another old layer replaced with something new. With every breath, you will feel my love wrapping around you. You will no longer live in fear, but in the awareness that I am with you. This is the moment I have appointed, the season in which my promises become reality. My child, step forward for what I have begun. I will surely bring to completion. My beloved child, listen very carefully, for what I am about to say will touch the deepest places of your soul. I have watched every step you have taken, through dark stretches of the road, through long nights when you tossed and turned, and through mornings when you forced a smile even though your heart felt shattered. I have seen you choose silence instead of revenge, forgiveness instead of resentment, faith in me even when everything around you seemed to collapse. And now I say to you, the time of enduring has passed. This is the season of blessing, the season of restoration, the season of abundance and grace. I stand on your side, not only as your protector, but as a father preparing a royal banquet right in the presence of those who once mocked you and denied your worth. In the very place where you were humiliated, I will crown you. In the very place where you were brought low, I will lift you up so that all may see. My hand has never left your life. I have prepared a place for you, not a makeshift shelter to hide for a while, but a seat of honor at the banquet of grace. There, you do not need to compete, to justify yourself, or to prove your value, because your very presence will stand as evidence of my faithfulness. That place is not only rich in material provision, but overflowing with peace, with respect, with blessings poured out. You have grown used to fending for yourself, striving for a place to stand. But now I say to you, sit down, let me work on your behalf. The blessing I pour out is not a reward, it is restoration, restoration of honor, of joy, of dignity, and of all the things you thought were lost forever. My child, let me reveal to you something the enemy will never understand when they tried to push you down. I was using those very things to lift you up. When they spoke against you, I was using their words like seeds falling into the ground, destined to rise as testimony to my glory. You shall sit before me at the banquet, and your cup will overflow. Psalm 2:3-5. This is a promise that cannot be revoked. You will see those who once said you were nothing forced to witness the flood of blessings I pour over your life, until they recognize that no one can stand against my purposes. No word, no scheme, no human hand can block what I have decided when I open the gates of heaven for you. But understand this, the provision I speak of is not limited to what eyes can see and ears can hear. Material things are only the surface of grace. The deeper part is inner peace, a steadfast soul, and the quiet confidence of being loved unconditionally. I will give you honor, not from the crowds, but from those whose hearts my spirit has touched, so they may recognize your true worth. I will give you a sense of safety, not rooted in wealth or reputation, but in the knowledge that you are sheltered in my arms. As you walk through life, you will feel an extraordinary peace, not because trials have disappeared, but because you know that every trial has its place within the plan I have already set. Prepare your heart, for what is coming will leave you in awe. I do not want you to merely have enough. I want you to live in overflow. You will see supply coming from unexpected places. People you have never met will bring opportunities. Doors that were once firmly shut will swing wide open. You will no longer have to chase after blessings, for blessings will come seeking you. From now on, you will no longer live as a beggar, but as an heir. I have signed the covenant with the very blood of my Son, and every promise in that covenant will be fulfilled in your life. You will look back and see that every pain was only the soil in which the seeds of blessing were planted to sprout at the appointed season. Do you know why I chose this moment? Because only when you had learned stillness could I entrust great things into your hands. If I had blessed you earlier, you might have unknowingly turned the blessing into pride. But now, after walking through the refining journey, you know how to treasure and how to surrender everything back to me. I do not only want you to receive, I want you to become a distributor. I am preparing you to be a channel of blessing to others, so that when they look at you, they may believe that God is still at work. Do not be surprised if those who once turned their backs now come seeking you, not because you have changed according to the world's standards, but because I have placed upon you a light they cannot ignore. That light does not come from power, but from peace, from calmness, from the vibrancy of living faith. When they look at you, they will notice the difference. No longer bitterness, no longer complaint, but a person who carries the breath of hope. They will not understand what has happened, but in that very moment, I will stir in them a longing for the peace you carry, and through that longing, they will be drawn to me. My child, be vigilant as you step into this season of abundance. Every blessing carries a responsibility. The prosperity I entrust to you is not merely so you may live comfortably, but so you may live fruitfully. You will be given much, not to hoard, but to give. I will bring to you those who lack, wounded souls in need of healing, and you will become my hands to comfort, encourage, and share. Do not fear that giving will leave you empty, for my storehouse never runs dry. The more you pour out, the more you will be filled. For this is the law of my kingdom. Do not forget that even in abundance there is temptation. The enemy cannot steal your blessing, but it can try to distract you. It will whisper that you no longer need me, that you are strong enough on your own. But my child, only when you keep me at the center will your blessings remain secure. Remember, the blessings I give cannot be taken away. But if you drift far from me, you will no longer have the light to see them clearly. Keep gratitude burning like a flame, for a thankful heart is a shield against pride. Each morning as you wake, say, Lord, it is all because of you. And when you do, heaven will open even wider. I am restoring what you thought had vanished: your reputation, your work, your dreams, and even relationships that once lay in ruins. You will hear apologies spoken from the very mouths that once wounded you. You will see doors that were bolted shut swing open at a simple word: I'm sorry. But do not fix your eyes on who was wrong and who was right. Simply keep walking in love. For the ultimate purpose of blessing is not that you be exalted, but that love be exalted. When you love with a heart that has been healed, I will open pathways your mind could never have imagined. My child, what I am doing goes beyond the span of a single lifetime. You think you are merely being freed from personal burdens, but in truth, I am using you as a foundation to shift the entire course of your family line. Old curses, inherited failures, spiritual bondages that have chained your family for generations, I am breaking them. From you, I will begin a new lineage, a line of those who worship, who trust, who love. You will be the first generation to lay the groundwork for seasons of blessing to follow. And your children and your grandchildren will taste the sweetness of the faithfulness you offer me today. Now, my child, take a deep breath and lift your eyes. You are standing on the boundary between old and new, between suffering and glory, between lack and abundance. Do not turn back. The old things have passed away. Before you lies a new land, the land of promise, where milk and honey flow without ceasing. I will go before you to prepare the way. I will go behind you to protect you, and I will walk beside you to guide you, and you will realize that everything which once made you weep has become a song of praise. Every step you take will be a sign that I, your God, am alive, am at work, and am pouring out grace on all who remain faithful, into joy, ashes into a crown, mourning into a song of freedom. You shall call me Father, and shall not turn away from me. Jeremiah 3:19. When you call me Father, every chain within you will break. Therefore, my beloved child, be ready, not ready by striving, but by faith. Walk forward, not in fear, but in gratitude. Believe that everything I speak today is already taking shape in the unseen realm, simply waiting for the appointed time to burst forth. Now I declare over your life the season of drought has passed, and the rain of blessing has begun to fall. In the places where you were once despised, I will cause you to be honored. In the places where you lacked, I will make you abound. In the places where you were wounded, I will make you a channel of healing for others. For I, the Lord, your God, am the one who has promised, and my word has never returned without bearing fruit. You only need to keep your faith, and everything I speak today will become reality before your very eyes. My child, this is the time when I speak to you with the power of my love, a love that no longer stands at a distance, but intervenes directly to rebuild your life from the very roots. The things that once made you tremble, the shadows that clung to you through long, weary years, will be overthrown today. I have listened to every choking sob, every weak prayer, every moment when you tried to smile while your heart was heavy. Not a single tear of yours has been wasted. Not a single pain of yours is unknown to me. Now I rise up on your behalf. I will not allow injustice to continue. No cruel word, no base scheme will be able to dominate you any longer. For I, the one who created this universe, am also the one who guards your soul. The dark plans conceived in the night are now exposed under my light. Every deceitful word that was used to pierce your heart, every envious glance that once made you afraid, all of it is dissolving like smoke before the breath of my spirit. No one has the right to determine your destiny except me. You have lived with the feeling of being drained. Through days when your faith was eroded, little by little, every time you thought you had finally found the light, something suddenly went out. Opportunities were taken away. Those who promised to help turned their backs. Your finances were tangled, your strength worn thin, and you thought it was because you were not good enough, not diligent enough. But my child, that was a spiritual bondage, a fine net woven by hearts that could not bear the light within you. I have seen them for a long time, the eyes that pretended to care, the blessings spoken with hidden motives, the cold handshakes. You were not wrong to trust people. You simply did not yet understand that light always troubles the darkness. But today I break every one of those chains. I lift you out from under the influence of old curses, of intentions that were nurtured in silence. No power, however subtle, can continue to drain energy, joy, or peace from your life any longer. My child, I am restoring to you the right to breathe freely, the right to live without the burden of indebtedness, no longer forced to please others just to be left in peace. You were deceived into thinking you had to make yourself small to be loved, to stay silent in order to be accepted. But the truth is that I never created you to be a child of fear. You were born to reflect my light, a light that is not meant to be hidden, but to shine. Today I break the lies that have bound you, the lies that said you are not enough, that you are unworthy, that you must trade your peace in order to be recognized. Those words will no longer have a place in your mind. My spirit is moving through every dark corner of your heart, burning away every negative thought, every feeling of inferiority, every old voice that made you doubt yourself. Can you feel it? The new current of energy moving in the space around you. It is my breath renewing all things. From now on, sincere people will be drawn to you. Wholesome opportunities will open, and the resources you need will naturally flow toward you. Not because you are crafty, but because you have been restored to the order of my kingdom. Everything that once seemed blocked is beginning to move again. I am teaching you to live in my enough, not in your own striving. Let me be your only source of provision. When you learn to see every good thing as a gift rather than a reward, you will be amazed to find that you no longer fear lack. My child, I see that your heart still bears the scars of the past, the ones who betrayed you, the times you were stabbed in the back, the malicious rumors. I know there were nights you could not sleep, just because of one sentence that made your heart ache. But today I say to you that is enough. You no longer need to carry those fragments with you. Place them in my hands. I will not only take away the pain, I will renew your memories. Everything that once wounded you, I will turn into wisdom, into strength, into compassion for you to use in lifting others up. No one will be able to use your past to control you anymore, because that past now rests in my hands. When I set you free, do not fear the feeling of emptiness. That emptiness is not loss, it is the space I am opening to pour in the new. You will see some people quietly drift away, Some doors you thought were secure, close before you, but let them go. What truly belongs to you cannot be stolen, what no longer fits, I will remove. Remember, you are not being abandoned, you are being sifted and refined. True love does not need to be fought for, true grace does not come by begging. When you stop clinging, you will begin to feel the freedom I have already prepared for you. I know there are things you still do not dare to believe. You have grown accustomed to waiting, to enduring, to accepting less than what you are worth. But I declare to you, the time of lack has ended. You will no longer live in constriction, in your soul or in your material life. The doors of work and vocation that once closed, I am opening again. The dreams that were left unfinished, I am breathing life into. The things that seemed shattered, I am joining together with the skillful hands of grace. You will rebuild the desolate places. You will restore the broken walls. Isaiah 5:8-1-2. This is not only a promise, it is a reality now unfolding in your life. You will begin to feel a new energy within you, a peace that does not depend on conditions, a joy that does not come from circumstances. For I am pouring into you the stream of true peace. That peace is not loud or showy, but strong like an underground spring, flowing quietly while nourishing everything. When you walk in that peace, others will look at you and not understand how you can still smile in the midst of trials. They do not know that you are being covered by me, my child. Let gratitude lead you in this new season. Do not turn back to search for what I have already removed. Do not mourn what has passed. Every time you say, "Thank you, Lord, because I trust that you are at work," I enlarge the space of blessing around you. Gratitude is the language of heaven, the key that tunes your heart to mine. When you are grateful, you do not only receive, you also open the way for grace to flow to others. And I want you to remember this. Everything I am doing is not only so that you may be at peace, but so that you may become a sign of the light. This world is weary. People are bound by fear, jealousy, and deceit. They need to see that truth still exists, that love still exists, that freedom still exists. You will be a witness to these things, not through impressive speeches, but through a life that has been transformed. When they look at you, they will see me. When they hear you speak, they will hear the tone of hope. When they touch your life, they will feel the warmth of the kindness I have placed within you, my beloved child. All that I am doing today is not merely to rescue you, but to give you new birth. I am leading you from the place of wounding to the place of being sent, from the place of mere endurance to the place of influence, from the place of fear to the place of strong faith. And I declare no one, no power, no dark spirit can stop what I have ordained for you. From now on, you will walk with your head held high, with a pure heart, with eyes that look far ahead, and with the certainty that all things are possible in me. You will no longer live in the cycle of lack and fear. I am cutting off every old root, the invisible barriers, the repeating patterns of failure, delay, and anxiety. I am breaking every scheme that made you forget you were chosen. Let me lead you into a new land, a land of abundance, of peace, and of calling. There, you will not only be blessed, you yourself will become a blessing. And as you live in that flow, your light will not only save you, it will reach many others, those who need to see that even in this world, there is still a living God, loving, acting, and restoring each soul, just as I am restoring you today. A new season is opening before you, my child, a season overflowing with life, light, and grace that I set apart for you before the earth and sky were formed. This is not a reward for your merit. but the fruit of a purification journey that has stretched through the nights you wept in silence, through the days you had to stand up when you had no strength left. Every tear, every broken prayer you thought I did not hear, has in fact soaked into the sacred soil of the universe. And now it is bringing forth whole seasons of blossoming blessing. You do not know how many times I have stopped the hand of darkness from touching you, how many times I have changed your path to keep you from falling into hidden traps, simply to preserve your soul for this day, the day I proclaim your rising in the light. Understand that the people who left, the things that broke, were all part of the necessary cleansing so that you could step into the abundance I have prepared. You may feel lost when the familiar faces are no longer beside you, when words that once sounded loving now feel distant. But do not be afraid. Every separation I allow carries within it a sacred meaning. I do not take away to make you lack, but so that you may truly have enough. Those people, though once important, no longer resonate with the frequency of grace that is now at work in you. Once you step into a new phase, souls who are not moving toward the light will naturally drift away from you, like leaves that must fall when spring is near, so that new buds can emerge. Do not try to hold them back, my child, for holding on to them is holding on to your old limitations. Trust that I am clearing the road, sweeping away the shadows that made you doubt yourself, the sweet but deceitful words that wounded your heart. I hear every word spoken against you behind your back. I see the jealous eyes hidden behind a smile, and because of this, I act. In my silence is the sound of heaven moving. When you feel you are losing something, in truth, you are being clothed anew. When you see someone walk away, it is really I who am making room for others to step in, those who will walk with you in true love, understanding, and peace. Every time I cut off a connection, I do not leave you abandoned. I replace it with something purer, deeper, more enduring. I never allow a void to remain forever, for I myself am the one who fills every empty space with my own presence. And when you realize that loneliness is not a punishment, but a time I set you apart to whisper my secrets to you, you will begin to cherish the days that are empty of people but full of me. Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 4:6-1-0. That is how you will feel my power, making a way for blessings to enter your life. Remember, blessings never arrive in the middle of chaos. I always clear the ground before I give. So do not be unsettled when things that once seemed solid suddenly collapse, when plans that appeared so clear are suddenly overturned. I am not destroying, I am rearranging. What looks like an ending is, in truth, being restructured by me to take on a new form, deeper, truer, and more enduring. Every loss is a hidden adjustment. When I open the door to a season of abundance, you will see that everything that once lay in fragments has been joined together into a complete picture, where even the smallest detail bears the mark of my hand. What you thought was ruined, I am using as the groundwork for new blessings. In this very hour, you will begin to sense a strange freedom flooding your soul, freedom from fear, from the need to please everyone, from the burden of having to prove anything. You will no longer have to chase recognition, for you already have my gaze resting upon you. When you understand that your true worth comes from being called by name by me, you will lift your head without pride and bow it without feeling small. You will speak less and listen more, and every word you do speak will carry the weight of light. I am transforming you from one who used to fear loss into one who knows how to live in the abundance of trust and love. Then you will see wonders unfold, not loud, not flashy, but steady and true. A door at work that seemed firmly shut will quietly open again. A relationship that once cracked will be mended by sincere hearts. A dream buried for many years will push through the soil and sprout in a new light. None of these things are mere luck. They are the movement of grace. I do not only want to give you enough, I want you to have more than enough so that you may share. Bring the whole tithe into the storehouse, that there may be food in my house. And test me in this, says the Lord, and see if I do not throw open the floodgates of heaven and pour out so much blessing. Malachi 3:1-0. Grace has no limit, but for it to flow, you need just one thing: faith. Faith is the river that carries blessings home. You do not need to see in order to believe. You need to believe in order to see. When you speak my word into circumstances that seem unfavorable, you are opening space for miracles to move. Do not ask when or how, for timing and methods belong to me. Your part is to keep a trusting heart, grateful lips, and hands ready to sow. True blessing is not only in receiving, but in giving with joy. When you become a channel of grace, I myself will ensure that the waters within you never run dry. Every time you help someone walk out of darkness, the light within you grows brighter. Every time you forgive, the heavens open a little wider over you. My child, do not be surprised if I make you noticeable in this season. Those who once looked down on you will begin to pay attention. Those who once doubted you will want to walk beside you. The words you speak will touch the innermost places of other hearts. But remember, this is not your glory, it is my light reflected through you. Walk in humility. Be grateful in silence. Do not seek a stage. For your very life, your way of acting, loving, and forgiving is already the most powerful sermon. When the world exalts success, I honor faithfulness. When they chase noise, I look for souls that are quiet yet radiant. Be one of those souls. There may be trials woven into the stream of blessings because I do not want you to forget that true blessedness does not spring from favorable circumstances, but from a heart that clings to me. When you find yourself faced with something unexpected, do not doubt, my love. See it as a lesson to keep you awake and watchful. At times I will slow certain things down, not to punish you, but to protect you. At times I will let someone leave even when you are not ready, because I know that if you hold them back, they will block the flow of blessings that are coming. Trust me, everything I do carries purpose. No delay in me is meaningless, and no silence from me is without love. My child, as you walk through the days ahead, let gratitude lead each step. Every morning, begin with this prayer of thanks: Lord, I believe your grace is new for me today. When you give thanks in the midst of hardship, you are sowing the seeds of miracles. When you smile in the midst of storms, the angels rejoice to see that your faith remains unshaken. And it is precisely then that I will multiply your blessings, because I see that you have learned the secret of my kingdom. True blessedness is not in what you possess, but in what you believe. There will come a time when you understand that the abundance I give is not just for your own comfort, but so that you may become an instrument carrying goodness to others. Orphan children will find support through you. The lonely will find comfort beside you. Wandering souls will see me through the way you live. You will become a voice of hope, an outstretched arm of mercy. I will turn your life into a song, not a triumphant boast, but a symphony of love refined through tears and trust. Then you will know true abundance is not having much, but having enough to love without fear of running out. Take heart, my child. This is a season of light, of rebirth, of things once buried coming back to life. You will walk in peace, and that peace does not come from the world, but from me alone. Let every word you speak, every act you do, every breath you take be a quiet offering of thanks. When you live in gratitude, you will no longer count what you have. You will see me in the smallest of things. And then, when you lift your eyes, you will see heaven itself opening, blessings pouring out without ceasing, for you have learned the deepest truth of every journey. Everything that is taken away makes room for something more complete, which I have prepared for you from the very beginning. My beloved child, what I am preparing for you is not a temporary portion or a passing favor. It is a gift I set apart for you from before you were formed in your mother's womb. In my treasury, the part reserved for you has been kept pure, untouched by the dust of this world. And now, in this very moment, it is being opened. Can you feel it? The things that weighed you down like chains are growing lighter. Doors you thought were sealed are beginning to open, and the tangled corners of your life are slowly being loosened. Knot by knot, I am setting everything in motion, not with noise or turmoil, but with the gentle breath of my spirit. Every step you take, I have gone before you to prepare the way. Every loss you endure, I am replacing with something better, not just to console you, but to rebirth you in the light of grace. Look closely, little one whom I cherish. The signs around you are not random. An unexpected message, a phone call that seems insignificant, an invitation you never foresaw. All of these carry my imprint. I am arranging the scene for a new chapter, where blessings are no longer delayed, where all that you once longed for begins to blossom. For I am the Alpha and the Omega, the source of every deliverance, the voice that compels what is motionless to move. When I speak a word, no visible or invisible power can resist. You see, I do not need grand displays to prove my might. I need only one word, and the universe bows in obedience. When I say, be opened, seas divide. When I say, live, death must release my chosen one. And now I am speaking to your soul. Step into the freedom I have prepared for you. But my child, as grace begins to pour out, the enemy of your soul will also try to sow seeds of resentment within you. It will whisper, you were hurt. You have the right to be angry. It will stir up memories that make your heart ache, urging you to take justice into your own hands. Do not let those words take root. For once bitterness grows in your heart, it will drain the very life of your soul and muffle the voice of my spirit. I do not want you to waste your strength answering those who have wounded you. They have their own portion. But you have a far greater blessing prepared. The work of establishing justice belongs to me, not to you. The justice I bring is not built on anger, but on love. It does not come as quickly as you wish, but when it comes, it is as solid as rock, and no one can shake it. Do not take revenge, beloved, but leave room for the wrath of God. Romans 1:2-1-9. For only I can judge, with eyes not blinded by emotion. Let me step in and heal the deepest places in your heart, the places you have never dared to touch. I know the memories you have buried, the wounds you pretend to have forgotten, the times you have said, I'm fine, while your heart was still bleeding. I see it all. I do not come to accuse you, but to draw you into my embrace and mend every crack. When you allow me to touch those places, you will taste a peace no human word can ever give. That peace is not mere outward quiet, but a gentle inner whisper where your soul knows all will be well, because the Lord holds everything in His hands. My child, only when your heart is in harmony with mine can you fully receive the stream of blessings I am pouring out. If you keep your heart pure, everything else will fall into place. If you keep your spirit humble, nothing will be able to disturb the peace within you. I am setting the stage for a season of recognition. You will see those who once looked down on you begin to see you with different eyes, not because you changed to please them, but because the light within you has changed. You will not need to say a word. Your actions, your attitude, and your peace will be the eloquent testimony that I am with you. What was once concealed will be brought into the open. The work that was once blocked will begin to flow. The relationships that were once broken will be restored in purity. You will see my hand skillfully arranging all things, the right people arriving at the right time, the right doors opening in the right places, the right things appearing at the right moment. This is not luck, it is destiny woven into the plan I have prepared for you. My child, prepare your heart for what is about to come, for what I am about to do is not merely a promise, but a sacred declaration. I do not speak idle words. When I speak, reality must submit. When I decide to lift you up, no one can drag you down. When I choose you to step out, no power can stand in your way. If God is for you, who can be against you? Romans 8:3-1. That word today becomes living and active in your very life. And I want you to remember this: what I give cannot be taken from you, unless you yourself lose it in fear or resentment. Keep your heart still, for it is in that stillness that I speak to you. In the days to come, you will see the rhythm of life around you begin to change. Opportunities will come unexpectedly. Doors will open without warning. Encounters that seem random will become turning points. I do not want you to try to understand everything. I only want you to recognize this is my hand leading you. You will learn not to worry, not to force, not to control. I want you to learn the art of letting go and trust. For true faith does not lie in doing much, but in knowing that I am working for you. When you believe, you enter into rest. When you loosen your grip, I go to work. And it is precisely in the moments when you feel motionless that blessings will blossom all around you. Do not be afraid when you see others no longer understand you, or no longer walk with you as before. When I remove someone from your life, it is not to punish them, but to protect you. You cannot soar high while still carrying souls that are not on the same frequency. There are those who once were a support to you, but now they will no longer be in harmony with you. Smile and let them go. For I am sending new people, hearts I myself have chosen to walk with you in the mission entrusted to you. Each one will carry a part of the key to the door of your blessing. Do not cling, and do not resist. Simply open your heart to receive. And finally, my child, keep this in your heart: what I am about to give does not come from your merit or worthiness, but from my boundless mercy. I do not bless you so that you may become self-satisfied, but so that you may become a living stream of blessing for others. When you share, that blessing will increase. When you keep a grateful heart, it will endure. When you use that blessing to love, it will spread into the darkest corners I desire to illumine through you. You will become a living witness to the world that my love is real, that my grace is without limit, that my faithfulness never runs dry. And then, when you look back, you will smile not because everything was easy, but because you will know in every event, I was there, quietly preparing for you a portion of blessing that is set apart, undefiled, unshakable, and filled with my glory. My child, I know there are days when you walk in silence with a heavy heart, because you can sense something moving behind your back, the whispers, the contemptuous glances, the laughter that dies out quickly when you step into the room. You think I do not see, but I see clearly every word, every thought, every plot being woven in the dark. While you choose to live gently, while you choose to keep your heart at peace, somewhere people are murmuring about you, trying to twist the good in you, attaching to you intentions you never had. But my child, do not let your heart tremble, for whatever is spoken in the dark, I will bring into the light. Whatever is covered in lies, I will expose in truth. There is not a word spoken, not a plan carried out in darkness that escapes my knowing, not an act against you that I will not examine. They whisper among themselves, "Let's see how long it lasts. Let's see if God is really with them or not." They mock when they see you, choose silence instead of reacting. They think kindness is weakness, that your gentleness is the sign of someone about to collapse. But they are wrong, because they do not understand how I work. I do not build strength through noise. I sow my power into the depths of quietness. When they think you are about to fall, I am laying new foundations for you. When they wait for you to plunge into the pit, I am turning that very pit into the base of your next height. I do not need to speak to prove anything, because the fruit in your life will be the answer. If God is for us, who can be against us? Romans 8:3-1. My child, people easily mistake meekness for weakness. But in my kingdom, meekness is power restrained, strength under control, victory without striving. You have not used words to strike back, and your very silence resounds in heaven as a song of trust. I have heard your sobs in prayer. I have seen your tears fall not out of hatred, but because your heart aches for those who do not understand you. I have seen you choose forgiveness, and I have recorded every one of those choices. When you choose goodness in moments where anger would seem justified, you stand on my side. For I do not look at how you argue. I look at your heart, and I see that your heart is still soft, still bright, still faithful. While they seek to push you down, I am lifting you up. When they scatter poisonous words, I pour out grace. When they sow suspicion, I sow peace. Every word spoken against you, I turn into a confirmation that I am with you. You do not need to debate. You do not need to prove yourself. You only need to stand firm in the light. That very light will make it impossible for what is hidden to remain concealed forever. My light not only illumines the path you walk, but also exposes every shadowy path of those who secretly plot harm. They will be astonished when they see all their plans dissolve like smoke. Not because you fought back, but because I stepped in. I protect you not with brick walls, but with my righteousness. Do you know this? Every time someone uses words to wound you, I feel that pain as if I myself were struck. For you belong to me, and whoever touches you touches the apple of my eye. They think you are alone, but they do not know there is an entire host of angels encamped around you. You cannot see it, but I have placed a wall of fire around you. When a curse is spoken, I turn it into a blessing. When schemes are laid out, I cause them to boomerang back on those who devised them. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. Isaiah 5:4-1-7. That word has been sealed over your life, and I never withdraw what I have spoken. My child, I know there are moments when you want to ask, why didn't you stop this sooner? Lord, why did you allow me to be hurt? But my child, if I cut short every attack, you would never learn how to stand firm in the wind. I allow them to speak, so that you may see that human voices can hurt your ears, but they cannot harm your soul. I allow you to be misunderstood, so that you will learn to find your worth in me and not in the opinions of others. Every insult, every contemptuous glance, I turn into a lesson for the growth of your soul. When you stop seeking validation from the world, you begin to step into true freedom. Now I am bringing everything into clarity. Words spoken in the dark will be brought into the light. Hidden intentions will be exposed. I do not need you to go searching for justice, for I myself am justice. I will silence the mouths of those who use their lips to slander you, not through retaliation, but through undeniable truth. They will see you lifted up. They will see blessings poured out upon you, and they will know that no one can touch the one I have chosen, not to shame them, but to reveal my kindness, that I still offer them a chance to repent. If they are willing to open their hearts, do not let bitterness take root in you. For when you keep your peace, you keep your blessing. I do not want you to look at them with hatred, but with compassion. Remember that those who hurt you are often those who themselves are more deeply wounded. They have lost themselves, and thus they cannot bear the light in you. When you pray for them, you do not weaken justice. You are inviting me to intervene with love, the only force that can truly transform a human heart. Pray for those who persecute you, Matthew 5:4-4. For in that prayer you are protected, and I am glorified. I want you to learn to see everything through my eyes. Not everyone who stands against you is an enemy. Sometimes they are simply tools I use to sharpen you, like a blade honed through friction. Do not resent them, for their resistance has made you stronger, more alert, more profound. Without them, you would not have discovered the depth of my faithfulness toward you. They think they are destroying you, but in truth they are contributing to your building up. They believe they are weakening you, but they are actually helping you grow resilient in the spirit. Now I say this to you, my child, the time of unveiling has come. Every hidden thing will be brought into the light. Every work done in darkness will be exposed. I will show you that I have never stood afar off. I have seen, I have listened, I have recorded, and now I act. You no longer need to be afraid, for I am the one who defends your name. I will restore what was stolen from you, restore your good name, and grant you an honor that no one can deny. When I move, all will know that it is I, the Lord, the righteous one, your advocate, the one who lifts you up and keeps you safe in his hand. My beloved child, stand still and remain in my peace. Do not be troubled by the voices of this world, and do not let words of slander shake your soul. Keep your gaze fixed on me, for I am leading you through this season, not to punish you, but to prove that the light cannot be extinguished. What once caused you pain will become a testimony to my power. What once wounded you will become the foundation of a new chapter. I will cause those who once doubted you to see my presence in you, and they will be compelled to say, truly, God is with this person. Therefore, do not be afraid. As you walk in the midst of ridicule, remember that I am walking beside you. When they speak, I speak louder. When they plan to harm you, I turn their intentions into blessing for you. No one can touch what belongs to me, and you are the most precious treasure in my hand. I have chosen you. I have appointed you. I have inscribed your name upon my heart. And now, as everything is brought into the open, you will see all that they tried to hide in the darkness I have turned into a springboard for your light. I am your Lord, the one who never forgets a faithful soul. I am the one who has, who is, and who will always protect you until my very glory shines forth through your life. My child, listen deeply, for this is the hour in which I act openly. Every good thing that has been delayed, every blessing that has been blocked along the way, every prayer that seemed unanswered, today I speak, be released. I am throwing wide open the doors that were sealed. I am loosening every chain you could not see. The streams of grace that were clogged are now flowing freely. The plans that were interrupted, the opportunities that were held back, I am bringing them back into the orbit of my will. Remember, my word never falls to the ground without bearing fruit. When I speak, the universe moves in response. From now on, every outcome you have long awaited will begin to manifest. The provisions once imprisoned in the unseen realm are being released and are moving toward you. For I am the faithful one who never breaks a promise. You have often wondered why the things you did with all your heart did not seem to bear fruit. You have been exhausted from waiting for a single door to open, and at times you even doubted my word because the time felt too long. But my child, I have not forgotten you. I have only been teaching you steadfastness, now that you have learned to wait and still believe. I am restarting what was stalled. Projects left unfinished will be brought to completion. Hands that once rejected you will now reach out to welcome you. Documents that were delayed will now be signed. Everything is returning to its rightful place under my hand. Look and see, the waters of blessing are rising, and no one will be able to stop this flow. For it does not come from people but from me, the source of life. I am not only protecting you from the malice of the enemy, I am lifting you up from the low place of doubt and setting you in a place of honor. I am opening a path for you through the crowd, causing those who once despised you to witness my glory in your life. In the very place where you were shamed, you will be honored. Where you were once looked down on, you will be spoken of with affection. I am lifting you up not so that you may boast, but so that my goodness may be made known. When I exalt you, even those who wounded you will have to bow their heads, for they will realize that no one can stand against what I have ordained. You once lived in lack, in the fear of not having enough, under the haunting thought that blessings were only for others. But now I am bringing you into a season of abundance. You will no longer count every coin, every breath, every opportunity. For I myself am your inexhaustible source. Everything you need for the journey I have already prepared: wisdom to choose, peace in which to rest, and the right people to walk with you at the right time. I will cause financial doors to open so that you no longer live in fear of scarcity. You will become one who gives without fear of loss. As you learn to trust in my supply, the flow will not cease. For you have become a channel of grace. My child, I will not only give back what you have lost, I will restore it many times over. Resources that seemed forever beyond your reach will now come toward you. I will cause those who forgot you to remember you, and agreements that once fell apart will be re-established in peace. No one can steal from you what I have decreed for you, for my word is everlasting. Believe that you will see my hand in every detail: a phone call, a meeting, a situation that seems small yet opens up a new path. You no longer need to strive to arrange everything. You need only walk by faith, for I am arranging it on your behalf. My child, do not be surprised if in the coming days you clearly sense a strong shift taking place. The atmosphere around you will change. You will feel lighter, as if an invisible weight has been lifted from your shoulders. This is the sign that I have moved. What was delayed in the spiritual realm is now rushing into reality. You will see grace touching every area: your work, your health, your relationships, your finances, like cool water being poured over dry ground. I do this not because you have begged me enough, but because I love you so deeply. And I want you to know that all these blessings do not come from your merit, but from grace. I do not give because you are worthy, but because I am faithful. Cast away your guilt, for I have wiped out your past. Do not let the voice that says, "You are not good enough," cause you to hesitate, for it is precisely in your weakness that my strength is revealed. You need only say, "Lord, I am willing," and I will take you farther than you ever imagined. Old limitations will crumble. You will walk on new ground, where you no longer live by chance, but live by my word. Remember, when I speak, all of heaven moves to fulfill it. No power, no person, no circumstance can block the blessing that is coming to you. Curses, jealousy, evil intentions, all are rendered powerless before my name. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. Isaiah 5:4-1-7. This is my covenant with you. Therefore lift up your head, walk forward in faith, and do not look back at former days. The past no longer has authority over you, for I have placed you in a new order, the order of grace and power. My child, look ahead. The old season has closed, and the new season is opening by the very word of my mouth. Every good thing that was delayed will now arrive at the appointed time. Everything that truly belongs to you will return. And when it happens, you will not say, "I have done this," but you will say, "The Lord has done this marvelous thing, for the glory belongs to me, but the blessing I reserve for you." Walk in that light without fear, without hesitation, for I, the Lord your God, have spoken, and what I speak will never return void. My beloved child, keep your heart in peace and let your soul grow quiet to hear my voice. The days ahead will carry wondrous things. New currents of grace are beginning to flow around you. I am opening doors you did not even know existed, and I am reopening wells of blessing that have long been stopped up. The sources of provision you thought had run dry, the hands that once withdrew, the opportunities you believed were lost, all will suddenly reappear, like a spring bursting forth in the desert. It is not by your effort, but by my hand at work. When I touch a situation, nothing remains blocked. Old obstacles are dissolving on their own. What was locked is being unlocked, and every stream of blessing that was held back will pour out so abundantly that even the skeptics will have to admit that only I could have done this. People will begin to come to you, not for fame or gain, but because they see in you something they have lost: the truth, the light, the peace that the world cannot give. Some will ask you to help them finish what they once abandoned. Some will return to make amends for past wrongs, agreements once rejected. Opportunities once slammed shut will now come of their own accord and knock at the door of your heart. Do not be surprised when doors that were once cold suddenly become warm. I am turning hearts, and they will recognize that my grace is reigning in you. I am not only opening the path for you to walk, I am also bringing others to walk with you. For this calling is not yours alone, but part of my greater plan. As for those who opposed you, my child, do not be afraid when they quietly drift away. Do not grieve over their silence. Do not cling to the hands that once held you, then let go. They cannot remain, not because you have changed, but because the light within you has grown stronger than the darkness within them. When I draw near, what is false can no longer pretend, and hearts that do not desire the light will choose another path for themselves. Do not try to hold on to what I am loosening, for I am only removing what no longer belongs to your future. My presence in you will become so evident that darkness will not be able to stay close. Just as dawn comes and night withdraws, so you must allow these departures to happen naturally. For I am clearing the space so you can step fully into the new season. My child, remember that separation is not a punishment but a blessing in disguise. You are not being isolated, you are being set apart. Every time I remove someone from your life, it is not a loss but a protection. You once prayed for peace, and now I am giving you peace. But true peace cannot coexist with artificial turmoil. Therefore I am separating you from harmful influences, from words that weary your heart, from relationships that pull you away from my purpose. Do not be afraid when you find yourself alone. In solitude, you will hear my voice more clearly than ever before. Be still, and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10. It is in that stillness that you will feel my hand gently guiding every step you take. Yet I do not leave any empty place abandoned. For every person I take away, I replace them with new ones, souls I myself have chosen, with pure hearts, faithful in spirit, and able to recognize your true worth. They will not come to take advantage of you, but to collaborate, not to demand, but to support. I will send to your side those who know how to follow my leading, those who will walk with you and together with you build what is good. They will be witnesses to what I am doing in your life, and with you they will carry that light out into the world. My child, open your heart to receive them. Do not be afraid to love again, For this time it is I who am sending them to you. You must believe that every circumstance you are in right now is being rearranged. I do not allow anything to happen by accident. Every upheaval around you, whether it is someone's departure, a change in your work, or the opening of a new door, is all within the path I have already laid out. When I have set the direction, every element will move in harmony to serve you. Even the events that seem tangled and confusing are quietly fitting together into a larger picture, at the center of which is you, my beloved child. You are not being swept away in a chaotic current. You are being carried along in the river of grace. Let that river wash away anxiety, doubt, and fear, for only when your heart is light can you swim freely in the ocean of blessing that I am giving you. My child, faith is the anchor in the shifting waves of life. Do not try to understand everything. Simply believe that I am doing what is best for you. Trust in my divine arrangement, even when your eyes see nothing yet. Everything I do, no matter how small, has a purpose, and that purpose is always your good. All things work together for good to those who love God, Romans 8:2-8. You love me through your quiet faithfulness, and now the time has come for me to turn that love into concrete, visible actions that you can touch and feel. You are about to step into a season where your prayers will become reality, no longer just a distant hope. You will see the things you once barely dared to dream of begin to blossom, for the season has come and the time is now ripe. Therefore, my child, do not tremble when you see everything shifting. I know that change troubles you, but remember this: I never unsettle anything unless I intend to bring you to a better place. Hold fast to your faith, because even while you are still doubting, I am already at work. A new current is forming beneath your feet, and it will carry you farther than you ever imagined. Allow yourself to be swept along. Do not resist, for I myself am the source of that current. You will see that grace does not arrive only in one glorious moment, but flows through every breath, every step, every decision you place in me. And very soon, you will look around and realize that everything once broken has become a garden of grace, in full bloom beneath the light I have kindled in your life. Now, my beloved child, as your soul grows still in my light, open wide your heart and speak to me with the most sincere voice you have. Offer me your prayer, not in formulas, but as a deep breath rising from a soul that longs for me. Dear loving Father, I bow before you in the deepest gratitude. I know you see everything that happens in the dark, every whisper spoken against me, every scheme devised to make me fall. Yet in the midst of all these things, I have recognized your protecting hand, strong and yet so gentle. Lord, I do not ask you to punish anyone. I only ask that you guard my heart from bitterness. Please help me stand still in your peace when the world is noisy, when people misunderstand, when I am judged. For you alone are the righteous judge, and you are my safe refuge. Teach me to trust you in the storm, for I believe that if you are with me, no one can truly stand against me. Father, I thank you for not abandoning me amid gossip and cold stares. When people tried to plant doubt in my heart, you placed assurance there instead. When they intended to wound me, you used those very wounds to sow seeds of peace. Please teach me to forgive as you have forgiven me, so that I will not carry resentment in my heart but only mercy. Grant me eyes that can see the good in others, even in their moments of weakness. I know that without you, I would have collapsed, but because your hand holds mine, I am still standing. Lord, I thank you because you did not allow me to be drowned in the waves. I thank you that the very things that seem to break me have become the path of my healing. I know that it is not because I am strong, but because you are always with me. Every blessing I have today springs from your faithfulness, and I promise to live in a way that is worthy of that grace. Gentle Father, I thank you for turning every harsh word into an opportunity for me to learn to love more deeply. I know that without trials, I would never have realized how much I need you. Please receive my gratitude as morning incense, simple, yet sincere, offered to the one who has protected me through every test and trial. Faithful God, I thank you for exposing the hidden things I could not see and for preserving my soul from traps laid for me. I thank you that you did not let slander triumph, but used it as a backdrop for your light to shine more clearly. You have turned my tears into smiles, and I offer my whole life to praise your name. I offer this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Do not forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so that together we can build a strong and vibrant community of faith.